we have Dennis Buzukja versus Jamall Emmers. This one is going to be the second fight on the prelims right here. And this fight's going to be pretty interesting. I mean, I think that Dennis, he's coming off of that pretty dominating loss, in my opinion. I mean, he got kind of dominated by Sean Woodson, but he was coming in on short notice there. He's 11-3. He's going to fight Jamall Emmers, 19-7. Jamall Emmers obviously is coming off of that really close split decision loss to Jack Jenkins. I believe that when the odds closed on the fight, I think that Jamall Emmers was a pretty heavy favorite from what I remember. So he might have potentially got robbed there, but an L is an L at this point. Now there is going
Yeah,
to be a yeah.
you made some good profit there with
I know, yeah,
paying.
yeah, I did. Yeah, I forgot that. I mean, I forgot that I even mentioned that. So yeah, I actually bet 5 units on Jack Jenkins. I, I like plus whatever his odds were, and yeah, that was a pretty decent one. But I will also admit that God, just at the end of the fight, I think I scored at Jamall Emmers 29-28 myself. So I thought I might have lost, but still, it was a really close fight. So yeah. But Jamall Emmers, he does have a 4-inch reach advantage here. So that is something that he'll have to work with there. Um, I mean, the odds for this fight are really interesting. Right now, Jamall Emmers, he's a minus 280, opened up at minus 170 favorite. So instantly got bet down. I think he was hanging around minus 300 or so for the last like few weeks. And now just a little bit of dog action has happened with Dennis here. Alex, I'll let you go ahead and kind of break down this first and kind of switch it up, and then I'll break it down later. So, Alex, what are your thoughts on this fight here?
Yeah, so I really like Jamal Emmers in this spot. I personally feel like he has Dennis covered everywhere. On the ground, stand-up game, clinch. I think, Jamal Emmers, you mentioned that 4-inch reach advantage, like similar to Sean Woodson, who Dennis Buzukja lost to in his last fight. Emmers is also another like long and rangy guy. So we already saw how that Sean Woodson fight played out. I don't see how this one's gonna go any different. Um, but I just find it funny that they're feeding Dennis another guy that's kind of similar. So I really like Jamal Emmers here. I'm probably gonna include him in my parlays.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I actually agree with you on that point. I mean, just let you guys know about Dennis. I mean, Dennis, when I saw him on the tape, really a kind of come forward kind of a wrestler kind of fighter, but he does like to strike pretty wild sometimes. Like he likes to throw flying stuff, like flying knees, takes chances on the ground. I think that sometimes he maybe takes one too many chances. So I think that he's one of those like low IQ fighters, if you will, which is something I also don't like. Now, in his last fight on short notice against Woodson, like you mentioned, I mean, I think he was thoroughly dominating in all phases. He let a guy like Sean Woodson, who's a known as like a boxer, right? You get 4 takedowns on him, like that's and supposedly Dennis is a wrestler, right? So that's something that was pretty alarming for me. Sean pretty much picked him apart for 15 minutes on a way to easy 30-27. Um, when I saw Dennis there, now granted he was coming off of a kind of short notice kind of bout, but kind of had bad cardio. Um, I just don't see what Dennis. I don't know if even Dennis is like a UFC caliber fighter after seeing some of his fights, honestly. Jamal, solid striker, wrestler. He mixes with them pretty well. Uses his long range kind of strikes due to his rangy frame. Fantastic takedown defense at 90%. Good cardio. And what I also like about Jamal Emmers is he's a dog. I mean, if you watch some of his fights, he doesn't really give up. He has a solid strength of schedule, some good losses on his record, right? If there is a thing against good losses, obviously he lost to Giga Chikadze in a split decision, I believe, and then lost to Jack Jenkins in a split decision. So, not like obviously you want to always take a win, but those are some decent losses to have on your schedule. And also, this is something that I also like to target sometimes with some of these fights. If a fighter is coming off of some of these like split close decision losses where they could argue they could have won, I mean, I think there's going to be so much value on them for the next fight because the only reason why sometimes these odds are as close as they are is because they're coming off the L, right? So people see, oh man, this guy's coming off an L. Maybe the odds are going to be a little closer. So I actually think that at the odds of where he opened up, which was minus 170, I think that was a steal. And also, I mean, right now, even at one minus 280, I think that's a parlayable piece. I think that once maybe you get to like minus 300 or so, maybe it's a little tricky, but even right now, minus 280, I think that's a possible parlay piece. So the pick here for me is Jamall Emmers by decision. I'll be looking for that prop, honestly. And I'll be looking to probably include in my parlays as well. So he's probably going to be the first leg of a lot of my parlays. So yeah, total agreement with you at that front.